Hello, Phil.
Hello, viewers. Welcome to Full Record Jacket with Phil and Ben. How are you doing?
Tell you what, Phil, I don't know what's happened over the last week, but you've obviously discovered moisturiser and Botox.
I certainly have.
You look a lot better, Phil.
I thought I did. Yeah, thanks, Ben.
Your hair looks better anyway.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you're looking pretty fine. If I was a lady or a man, doesn't matter, either will do, or what, I'd quite love you, Phil.
I know you do, Ben.
I'm quite surprised by I've never noticed the enigmatic nature of your features. They are, I could stare at them all day like the Mona Lisa.
Shall we do the 1994 Now album?
Yeah, we can do. I've just looked at the next 10 tracks, and there are some awful ones in there, Phil.
Does that mean they're not going to get a thumbs up?
Is that... Where there? Phil, is that not you? Is that your bloody thumb?
Does that mean 1994 doesn't get a thumbs up? I'm going to have to give it a great big thumbs down.
Oh, what's that horrific sight? Oh, all right, Phil. How are you?
All right, thank you, Ben. Yeah, not bad at all.
Good. Yeah, well, we're back on 1994 because we started it last week because we had a letter in from one of our younger viewers who was listening to Now 1994, and then I put it on and thought, this will be brilliant. It'll be like being 15 again, and all this music will sound amazing. And then it didn't. And but do you want the next 10 songs? I think we've reached the dance side of the album.
Great! I really can't wait now. Yeah, let's go for it. I love 90s dance hits that got into the charts. They were superb. Yeah.
Well, to be fair, the next track up is kind of dance hall, reggae crossover.
Oh, reggae as well. Really.
I know, your favourite music.
Float in my boat with this, man. Come on then.
Yeah. It's I like to move it. I like to move it. Do you remember that? The Mad Stuntman featuring Reel to Reel.
Well, if you've been drinking a few of these, but without water in the glass, then it's fun. But apart from that, it ain't going on my playlist.
It's not, is it?
No.
The more I go through this list, I realise that a lot of that sort of early 90s period was sort of music, I suppose, like the indie movement and a bit of grunge. The mainstream was full of a lot of turd, wasn't it, really?
Some of it was quite bad, yeah.
But next up, on 1994, probably was released in 93, because as we've established with Now 1994, none of the songs seem to be released in 1994. But it's actually not a bad one, Phil. It's the Prodigy, blah, 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 them anyway, Keith Flint and Liam Howlett and all them boys, and No Good. No good to me. I don't need nobody. Don't need no one. That's no good to me. Don't need no one. I don't need nobody. That one.
This was when I really didn't dig the rave stuff. I wasn't really a raver, you see.
No.
The Prodigy, I didn't mind when they did, was it Fat of the Land?
Yeah,
when they went a little bit rock and roll. That was okay. I still wasn't as mad on it as some people were, but the Firestarter and Breathe and all that. Yeah,
Breathe the pressure. Come play my game.
Yeah, okay. But I wasn't really into that at the time, and I just I don't think I'd want to hear it again, to be honest.
To be fair, there was a lad used to pick me up in his car. Just a random guy just used to pick me up. On the side of it. And he would always have, it was a little red Fiat Uno, had a massive bass box in the back. And, it's like, because he could drive, I couldn't at the time. And he would take me out in his car and literally have the Prodigy, like, blaring so loud.
So you were very young at the time. And, and a man just picked you up in his car.
Well, I say a man, he was roughly the same age as me. He was about a year older.
Didn't the Prodigy do a song with an excerpt from that public information film that said,
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
Charlie
says.
always tell your mummy before you go off with someone.
Yeah.
And you went off with someone. Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't tell my mummy because she wouldn't have cared anyway. She would have
probably
been more disappointed that I came back.
She's probably watching now.
Yeah, she probably is. She does watch.
I know.
Yeah, she does watch. She does, and so I have to watch what I say because she will hunt me down. One thing can be said about my mother is she can kill a man at 100 paces with either a stare or a fist. So, but yeah, it just made me think being in that car. And that's what really put me off a lot of dance music. I just thought, God, this is just like a headache. You really can't be enjoying this. Bum, 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 bum. It's yeah. So yeah, it was pretty awful.
I wasn't really open to that kind of thing at the time, I'm afraid. I used to sometimes go in people's cars and they would be playing that kind of stuff, and I was like, just give me some rock and roll, baby.
Yeah, man. I mean, were they strange men that used to pick you up, or?
No stranger than you, Ben, really, to be fair. I didn't wear woolly hats indoors, so...
Only because if you saw what's underneath today, my hair isn't looking as fantastic as it normally does. I know this wonderful mane. It's if I don't look after it. I went to the gym earlier before work this morning, and my hair hasn't recovered from that. So the hat is on. I'm not going to take the hat off because I'm ashamed, Phil. So. But anyway, next up, I do vaguely remember this song. It's by The Grid and Swamp Thing.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Do you remember that?
It had like a guitar-y riff.
Yeah.
I can almost hear it in my head.
Yeah, I bet you can't wait to get rid of it. Now, at first, when my brother mentioned, I thought that this was, it came in my head that it was, when he said Swamp Thing, I was like, oh yeah, that's Stiltskin. But it wasn't. Stiltskin was that other one, the more rock and roll track, wasn't it? I think they're from Scotland, aren't they, Stiltskin? And that was about I think that's on now 28, and that came out in 94. So, anyway, Swamp Thing, The Grid. I have very little to say about that because I can't even remember how it goes. I think I do, but I don't.
Was it a banjo on it, or was it a guitar? I can't remember. It had a riff. It was a little bit throwback in a way, but it was like a sort of...
what I'm going to do. I'm going to put in my headphone. Shout out to Marshall headphones. We can tag them in, get some free stuff, Marshall.
It's a bit like an old 50s instrumental with dance elements, as I remember it. I mean, it's a long time.
Let's have a listen. Obviously, we can't play music because somebody's going to want 50p off of us. And we gave our last 50p to charity because that's the kind of guys we are. Oh, yeah, I do remember it. It's awful.
Yeah, it gets pretty annoying after a while. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's giving me a headache already, and I'm only in the start, so... Oh, yes, it has got the banjo. I do remember this now.
Yeah, it is a banjo. I remember now.
It's like a slightly more rubbisher Cotton Eye Joe.
There is a Cotton Eye Joe element to that, yes.
There is, isn't there? Ding 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 ding.
So after Swamp Thing, what is next on the list?
Just me dancing, Phil, for the next 20 minutes.
Well, that's probably better than discussing the rest of the Now album, to be fair.
Oh, you don't mean that at all. You were like, before we came on air, before we came on Tube, you were like, oh, I can't wait to discuss 1994. It's my favourite year of music. I love Bitty McLean and Aswad and On Vogue.
I must admit I'd forgotten how bad some of the charts were in 94. Oh. What else have we got?
Trust me, I'm going to have to put my headphone back in because some of these I am going to have to listen to because I don't remember any of them. Oh, God, it's still got Swamp Thing on. I'm dancing. I can't help myself, Phil. 1 second, I need to... Please let it stop. Please stop. It stopped. Next up, I'm really hot. It is a song called Getaway by Max, M-A-X-X. Don't remember. It has literally nothing
That's not activating any memory cells for me.
No, it's like trying to find the features of a balloon. There is nothing there. I'm gonna put it on.
MAXX and what was it called? Did you say Getaway?
It's just Max Getaway, yeah. There we go. I found it here. Song Max Getaway. Let's have a listen. Oh yeah, I do remember this.
I'm playing it as well.
It's awful already.
Oh, it's like Euros stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, I don't really remember that very well. But, okay. Can we redeem now 1994?
It's got a little bit of... feels a bit like a bit of reggae dancehall in there as well. That's awful. Next up was DJ Miko. What's up? Do you remember that? Oh God, we're going to have to listen to some of these, Phil. Do you know when we say we're
all the
unscripted
dance side? Can we just skip the dance side? Because I won't remember any of them, to be honest.
Well, I'll tell you what. We'll get past that one. No one cares about that, do they? Really?
Get to the ones that everybody remembers.
16. Let the beat control your body. 2 Unlimited.
Okay.
The only thing I remember about 2 Unlimited was they were Dutch.
Yeah, they did.
We'll miss out the next one because I have no idea who that is. Number 18, Dupe by Dupe. Wasn't that one that had the sort of old dance?
Had like a 1920s Charleston dance kind of aspect to it. Yeah, that was pretty awful as well. Yeah,
it was, wasn't it?
Yeah,
yeah, wasn't it Duper than Dupe or something like that? Or... Yeah, I've got it on in my ear.
It was Dupe by Dupe. I seem to remember that.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah, and it smelled like a pile of dupe. Next up, I think this was in our 90s one-hit wonders, was Come Baby Come by K7. Come baby, baby, come. Oh, you want to give me loving and you want to give me some. Obviously, another one from your favourite genre of music. Eh?
Yeah, great.
Yeah, and then next up was What a man, what a man, what a man, what a man, what a mighty good man, what a mighty good man.
Yeah, who was that? Who did that?
On Vogue and Salt and Pepper.
That's right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You've not really got much to say.
I haven't got much to say about it. It's one that's stuck around a little bit, hasn't it? It's been used in TV shows and things.
Yeah.
You hear it every now
and then we get into a little bit of what stuff that you like. There's Searching by China Black. Searching for that one thing that I'll never find.
I don't remember that. I vaguely remember the name China Black. I can't remember the song.
And then next up, I don't mind the next one. You Don't Love Me. No, no, no.
Oh, I remember that one.
You don't love me, and I know, boy. That one. Dawn Penn.
That is a bit better than what we've had so far.
Yeah, and then you've got Dedicated to the One I Love by Bitty McLean.
Okay, that's not the old 60s song.
Not
I think
the
Mamas and the Papas one.
It could be. I don't know. Bitty McLean, didn't he do the song with UB40? Baby Come Back. That one.
Okay.
Bye. I must admit I was a clone to be.
I didn't know that was with UB40, but okay.
I'm sure that was with UB40. I'm pretty sure. Then there's M People. Renaissance. I can't remember that.
I can't remember what that song, how that went. I remember some of the M People songs, but I can't remember Renaissance.
I can imagine it was a lot of...
Maybe.
Because that's what I imagine there. Just a Step from Heaven, Eternal. Do you remember that? That's fairly boring.
I remember them, but I don't remember any of the songs. That was the one who went and married the footballer, wasn't it?
Louise Nerding. Became Louise Redknapp. So they were supposed to have a reunion, but I remember they fell out over various things, and then those things have never been resolved. I think there's a few bullying claims.
They've had an eternal feud, have they?
They've had, basically, yeah. And then a song I don't mind is "I Miss You" by Hadaway. Because I miss you more than words can say.
Was he the bloke who was a Dutch Dentist.
Yes.
Or
Was
something
he a
like that.
dentist? I know he was.
I may have got that wrong, but he was a Dutch guy, wasn't he?
He was Dutch, yeah. I don't know the next one.
But didn't he have a more successful song, Hadaway? He had a better known song. Am I right to think that?
Yes, he did. He had oh god, I'm gonna have to look it up now, aren't I?
Something about the time or something? No.
Hadaway. It was in our One Hit Wonders.
Yeah, so what was his hit?
Well, obviously it was his actual name is Nestor Alexander Hadaway, and he's actually a Trinidadian born he was German. He was a German singer.
Okay.
He did that. While his love, baby, don't hurt me.
That's the one that I know.
Don't hurt me no more.
Yeah, okay.
So let's have a look. Was he a dentist? No.
Maybe a complete factoid by me, but
yeah, possibly. Yeah. What one you got completely wrong as well? Anyway, next on the list. To be fair, it gets a bit more credible now, Phil. You're going to like this now. We've got rid of the dross, I think, and we're into whatever part the track 28 basically sums up 90s blandness. Anything with the words Dina and Carol in it.
Oh, crikey, yeah.
God,
I've forgotten all about her, yeah?
Yeah, so had I till just now. But anyway, we have got, this isn't too bad. We've got Linger by the Cranberries.
Ah, yes. Dolores.
That's not a bad Dolores. Yeah. So, yeah, that's not bad. That's not a bad track. And then I'll Stand By You by the Pretenders.
Oh, yeah. And that was co-written, I think, with Billy Steinberg and Tom Kelly, who also wrote... Well, they wrote quite a lot of songs. They wrote, I Drove All Night, True Colours.
I know that one. Yeah.
Like a Virgin.
True Colours.
They did Like a Virgin for Madonna. They did... There's a couple of other big 80s hits I can't think of now, but they wrote quite a few in the 80s. Yeah. For various stars. Yeah.
We know when we're onto something when Phil knows a fact.
And I think one of them, I can't remember whether it was Billy Steinberg or Tom Kelly, one of them just retired from the music business and just played golf.
Lived off the royalties.
Yeah.
Well, after that I think these are quite underrated, really, because whenever I hear them, I think, that's not, is Erasure and Always.
I'm trying to think what the song is. I must have heard that before, but
yeah,
I think I heard it's like a ballad, so like a sort of a bit of
I think it might be. I'm just going to refresh my memory, but Erasure always sort of feel, I think, probably got overshadowed a bit by the Pet Shop Boys.
They did. They always they seemed to end up. They were very popular at the time. Erasure.
Yeah, they were.
They had a lot of hits. They sold a lot of records. But in the longevity stakes, they tended to end up being the sort of, I'm not saying inferior, but they tended to be regarded as a sort of second fiddle to the Pet Shop Boys somehow, didn't they?
Yeah. Erasure always, I think, got swept aside by the Pet Shop Boys. I want to be with you. I want to leave with you.
I think the Pet Shop Boys was seen as a bit more sophisticated and arty, weren't they? The Pet Shop Boys, whereas Erasure was seen a bit more like Erasure was seen as a bit more like Erasure would be more likely to pop up at a gay disco and just wear sequins and stuff like that, weren't they? They were a little bit more that way.
Gay disco.
They were a bit more that way, weren't they? Whereas the Pet Shop Boys were, seemed to have that slightly detached air about them that was a bit more cool and detached, weren't they? Whereas
I got
the impression that Erasure would have popped up at any nightclub and just
done anything.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but
next
I might be right.
is, now was this a Guinness advert song? Return to Innocence by Enigma. Return to Innocence.
Well, all the Enigma songs sound pretty much the same kind of thing, don't they?
Like Enya.
Well, they're all like sort of Gregorian chanting monks with a bit of techno underneath.
Beat in it.
Techno.
Enya, it's actually easier to sort of transcribe hieroglyphics than it is to understand what Enya's singing about.
That's true. That's true, yeah.
That's basically an Enya song.
Yeah, Enigma was massive for a while, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were, yeah.
Early 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like panpipe music.
It is. It was kind of like a mellow techno version of panpipe music, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it was the early doors to trip hop. The gateway. Oh wait, next is we've spoke about these. It was Stiltskin and Inside with its that heavy guitar sort of thing going on.
That's the one. Is that the one that was used in a jeans advert?
Jeans advert, yeah. That's all you got to say on that one. I think they were Scottish. I think that's all I know about that one. And then let's whiz through the rest of these. You got Rock and Roll Dreams Come Through by Meatloaf.
Crikey,
he sadly passed away. Was it last year?
I think it was last year. I think so.
So the loaf is cooked. Well, you might have been buried. One of the two. Word Up by Gun. I don't know that at all. Have not got a clue.
Yeah, I don't remember that one. I think they were a Scottish rock band as well.
Oh yeah, they were. Yeah, they have got guitars. I thought I'm just going to play a little bit in my ear.
Yeah, it's a guitar-y rock song.
Oh, it opens up. Oh yeah, it is. It opens up with that. I'm trying to think what it is. It's like an Oasis B side. I have to have a little listen at the opening, sort of like. If I do. Oh, it's a cover of Word Up. Everybody sing.
Is it? Did they do a cover of Cameo?
Cameos, Word Up, yeah.
Right. There was another song by Gun, I think, that was more of an original rock song, I think, but I may be wrong about that now.
Yeah, because he looks a little bit, the lead singer looks a little bit like Grant. Oh, what's his name? I've got his album down there. The lead singer of Feeder, basically. Grant something. Granty McGranty.
I don't know who it is. I don't know the lead singer of Feeder. I'm sorry.
Well, I could just make it up, couldn't I? Really?
I could have chipped in if I'd known, but.
And then possibly maybe the best song on the album is next is "Girls and Boys" by Blur.
Yeah, do you know what? I had the Part Life album, and I remember when that came out. It was it was a popular single to start with. Obviously, other singles came along as well, Part Life as well. But I remember getting a bit bored with Girls and Boys, who was played on the radio. So when I played the album, I used to sometimes start with the second track on the album and kind of ignored Girls and Boys.
Track?
Yeah, and I then had it in my head that I thought Girls and Boys by Blur was a bit annoying and that it was not a hit by Blur that I especially liked. And then I think it was last year, I heard it come on the radio over a pretty decent hi-fi system, and I thought, oh, this is actually quite cool. The bass line's really good. This is actually, I actually like this a lot more than I'd thought. So I kind of like it.
I was watching a Britpop documentary the other day, and they was talking about Girls and Boys, and they basically, the premise of the song, the sort of beat to it, etc., was inspired by the fact there was a lot of that sort of Euro techno sort of beat going around at the time. So it was their sort of, whether it was a piss take or whatever, I don't know.
I mean, the whole song is a bit of a send-up of Club 18 to 30 holidays and all that kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, so, it is, yeah.
So it kind of fits in with that. It's quite cleverly done.
It is I say it's the, it doesn't say a lot, I suppose, about the album, but for now, 1994, it is possibly the best album, the best track on the
I can believe it. I can believe it.
It's not hard to not believe it. It's harder to not believe it than it is to believe it.
Now, of course, Blur were on the wider EMI label, weren't they? They were basically on
didn't they end up on Food? Was it Food?
Yeah, wasn't that an EMI distributed label, I think?
Yeah, I think so.
Now, was this in the days when the Now album was mainly EMI acts to start with, wasn't it? And then they widened it a bit more because the Warner Group had in the 80s when the Now started, the Warner Group had hits. They had the hits compilations.
Yeah, I've got a few of them.
Hits 1, Hits 2, Hits 3, because that was the Warner Group, because they didn't want to participate in the Now albums. So their artists went on to the Now, the hits albums. Now, when Oasis were around, obviously they were on Creation, but they were distributed by Sony, weren't they? I think
Yeah, they were.
albums.
Yeah.
So were Oasis on these Now albums, or were
They
Sony not participating?
They were on one of the ones from 1994 because Cigarettes and Alcohol, I think, is on.
Okay.
It's the one with Bitty McLean on it.
So that was so that was after the time when they'd all started to cooperate with each other on these things.
Yeah, because I know with I think it's which Now is it? It's got Golden Eye on it. Remember the Tina Turner song, Golden Eye. But I think that album has on it.
Did I beat that?
You did cough in my ear, yeah. Go on, cough it up, Phil. There he goes. He's choking to death there, people. He's still on mute. He doesn't realise. He's back. I know that one with Golden Eye.
I'm back.
Has got Cigarettes and Alcohol and the Smoking Mojo filters on it. So, but anyway, we go from one bunch of plastic cockneys to another with we're in trouble. Something's coming along and it's burst our bubble.
Why were they? We had to do that on the One Hit Wonders. I can't remember who they were. What were they called?
Shampoo.
That's
really big in Japan.
Well,
apparently.
Bigger in Japan than they are with me, Shampoo.
Yeah, literally shampoo just in general, I would have thought, Philster. Anyway, the last two tracks are what I can only describe as awful. And it's Meet the Flintstones by the B-52s.
Oh, dear, I remember they did that, didn't they? Yeah.
Crikey. And it is...
Weren't they renamed the BC-52s?
No, it says B-52s, but they may have done...
I think they appeared in the movie as the BC-52s.
Oh, yeah, because they were in Bedrock, weren't they? They were the band performing.
Yeah.
I've never got the B-52s. They've always been a bit like They May Be Giants. It's almost like they're just trying a bit hard to be a bit meh.
They're trying too hard to be camp and wacky.
Yeah,
you got to like Rock Lobster, though. You got to like Rock Lobster.
Don't know if I've heard it.
You've never heard Rock Lobster? That was their first big one in the 70s.
Yeah, I like cooked lobster. I know that much.
Because there are people who don't like. There are people who don't like Love Shack.
Love Shack, baby. Oh.
Which was the early 90s.
I can really hit high notes, can't I?
Yeah, you can. So, yeah, there are people who don't like that era, the one they did Love Shack, but they do like the early B-52s, the first album. So maybe you should check out Rock Lobster.
I'll check out Rock Lobster. I can't even speak. My speech is appalling, may I say. But anyway, last but not least, for all those football fans out there who like watching football from their armchairs, and a lot of them did in the 90s, because they were all glory supporting. Yeah, they didn't even know where Manchester was on the map. Where's Manchester?
What the football song would have been? What football song would have been in '94? I'm trying to think.
Well, I've given you a big clue. It's Manchester related.
Okay, because it wouldn't be the World Cup because
I'm a Manchester United fan. That was the Manchester. Year. I don't know.
That was the year that England were not in the World Cup, wasn't it? In the World Cup,
94, America 94. Yeah.
So it wouldn't have been an England football song.
No. It's a Manchester one.
Manchester,
giving you the clue.
So is it Manchester United FA Cup song? Is that
what
it is?
It is the Manchester United FA Cup song. In 94, did they play Everton? I'd have to double check on that one.
Well, I don't know what that song would be. I have no idea.
It is called. 1 second. I need to find out. 1994. I'm sure they lost 1-0 to Everton. 1994 FA Cup final. I am a font of knowledge. Oh, no, it was Chelsea, I think. Chelsea, let's have a look. I think they won 4-0. Yeah, 4-0. It was raining. And I remember because Manchester United scored quite early. But anyway, that's irrelevant. It's "Come on, you Reds, come on, you Reds, come on, you Reds. For 90 minutes, I'll lose your heads." Or something like that. For 90 minutes, we'll let them know it's Man United. Here we go, glory, glory, Man United.
Okay.
Something like that. It was awful. Yeah. So,
do any fans still like the song now?
yeah, well, probably those Manchester United fans from 1994 have all turncoat and found somebody else to glory support. So, but one thing I will say, Phil, is even though we have proved that 1994, the populist movement of music during that time, was god awful, we have proven that reflecting back on these years makes us appreciate good music more. And so that's why next week I'll be bringing now 1993 to the table.
Oof, I'll tell you what, listening to one of those Now albums does make the rest of your record collection sound so much better. It's almost like instead of cleaning your records or cleaning your CD player, you just play that and everything will sound great after.
Do you know what? It makes me think that Jim Reeves doing folk, funk, slap bass jazz would actually be like, oh God, this is inspiring, man. This is brilliant.
I would rather listen to Jim Reeves than most of the records that's on that. At least you get to hear Floyd Kramer's piano playing. So
there is that.
You can't fault it. Yeah.
Anyway, I've got you a little present, Phil. I thought I'd save it, but
that's nice.
I've got your little present. Here it is. 1 second. So yeah, it's 2 tickets to it's a 3-day event. It's the 3-day reggae festival.
Great.
In Halifax. And I can't go, so you're going to have to go on your own. And I've got your VIP tickets for it.
Well,
love it.
When I've grown my dreadlocks, I'll go.
That's never going to happen, is it?
No, I'm never going to go either. So there you go.
That's a present, Philip.
But thanks, Ben. It's great. Could I probably swap that for almost any gig. No, well, maybe not. I don't know.
The Spice Girls reunion ticket.
Would I go to a reggae festival or a Spice Girls? I'd love
a reggae festival. It's going to be chilled and
it might be chilled out. Yeah, I'm not sure I can do the camping.
I love the beat of reggae. Reggae was one of my first music loves.
Do I get my own caravan or something?
You get a caravan and you get a T-shirt that says, "I went to the reggae festival in Halifax and all I got was this lousy T-shirt."
Do I get a soundproof caravan with a hi-fi in that I can listen to other stuff while I'm there?
No.
Ah, okay.
But you're going. I've booked you in.
I'll go.
I've had a word with my mate, Reggie McReggae, and he's looking forward to you coming up for the weekend. He's got somewhere for you to stay and everything.
I'll get a wig. This thing about me and reggae has now been a little bit overhyped. I've never gone around saying that I hate reggae. I've just said that it doesn't vibe with me that much. It's okay. I don't dislike it. There's some reggae. I'm trying to think, are there reggae songs that I like?
Got to love some Bob Marley, haven't you?
Yeah, obviously I respect Bob Marley and I quite like it. Mind you, one of my favourite ones of him is one that came out after he died, which is Iron Lion Zion. Remember that one?
Zion, yeah.
I quite like, do you remember Wings and McCartney did Sea Moon? Do you remember that one?
Yeah,
that's kind of a reggae-ish one because Linda McCartney loved reggae.
The Fugees did No Woman No Cry, I think, with Ziggy Marley.
Don't mind, that's okay.
Also, I love it when the Ajax fans are all singing Three Little Birds.
Not sure if it counts as reggae, but it's a reggae song gone a bit rock, which is, of course, Clapton's version of I Shot the Sheriff.
I shot the sheriff.
I must admit, it's a long time since I've heard Bob Marley's version.
I think you should find Now Reggae because that's bound to be a thing. I think you'll really enjoy it.
I quite like some of the very early, like late 60s reggae. When it sounds a bit more raw in the production, the really old stuff. Yeah. I quite like some of that. I'm thinking of the one that got into the charts here was the Israelites, Desmond Dekker. That era.
Yeah. I remember that.
I'd probably like to listen to really old reggae rather than modern.
Okay, I'll set you a reggae challenge.
Yeah, who was the guy? Who was the guy? Lee Scratch Perry. He was the legendary reggae producer.
He was, yeah. But anyway, that ends now 1994, and we can safely say now 1994
could not have ended soon enough. Yeah, thanks for that, Ben.
Yeah.
We'll be back, viewers, with a credible music discussion at some point on this channel very, very soon. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.